Yo, what is going on guys? Welcome back to another GTA 5 video. So as I'm sure all of you guys are aware, for the past couple years, Rockstar Games have been randomly dropping police themed content into the game. And as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware by now, a lot of this content was originally planned to be released with the COPS N CROOKS DLC 4 years ago. Now the reason I know about all of this police content and what Rockstar Games do have planned to be released in future DLCs is thanks to some of the most credible data miners in the GTA 5 community who have been able to get access to all of the game files from the COPS N CROOKS DLC, which of course includes all of this content that Rockstar Games are starting to release. Now if you aren't aware, this COPS N CROOKS DLC included a bunch of content that never even seen the day of light, so it doesn't only include the content that we've seen Rockstar Games release recently, and I've already made videos covering some of this content, including some of the weapons, a new free mode collectible, a bunch of new clothing, new properties, plus much more. So I'll leave a link to the full playlist down below in the comment section if you guys do want a better idea on all of this content. However, in one of my previous videos, we did speak about some of the vehicles that were meant to be included with this COPS N CROOKS DLC that we should be seeing Rockstar Games release. Now going off the feedback from that video, you guys really seemed to enjoy it, as it was quite interesting to see what vehicles Rockstar Games had planned to be released 4 years ago that, like I said, is very likely they will now be releasing with this new police content. So we are going to be taking a look at some more unreleased vehicles from the COPS N CROOKS DLC, as well as taking a look at some more new leaks as to what we can expect to see. So as always, if you guys do appreciate me keeping you up to date with all of the latest GTA 5 news, all I ask is you do return the favor by dropping a like down below, and if you guys are new around here, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, as I do post daily GTA 5 videos. With that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so like I said, I'll leave a link to a playlist down below in the comment section which I created covering all of the leaks and cut content from the COPS N CROOKS DLC, as if you guys aren't aware, there was over 800 files found included with this DLC. The only DLC that would make sense to be big enough and release new content for on a game that, like I said, is probably in its final year or two would of course be the COPS N CROOKS content, which I think we can all agree a massive portion of the community have been calling out for it, especially when you hear all of the details on how the thing was going to work. So like I said, if you do want more details, do be sure to check the playlist down low. However, if you guys did miss my part 1 to this video where I spoke about some of the unreleased cop cars, I'll quickly go over the ones that I spoke about in this video before I let you guys know about the new ones. So of course, we knew we was going to receive a police variant of the BF Surfer, which from the outlook of course is modeled off a Volkswagen classic van, more stereotypically has connotations with the 70s or a hippie lifestyle and not really policing. However, I did work out that Rockstar Games were adding this because there was an old school European police car back in the 50s, as you guys can see on screen, which was basically the BF Surfer. Now there was another police vehicle known as Zoku, which we worked out was of course going to be a Japanese brand car in the game, so most likely modeled off some sort of Japanese police car. As you guys can see on screen, here's the models of what the Japanese police cars currently look like. However, what it was most likely modeled off would have been the Japanese police motorcycles, which as you guys can see on screen are Honda motorbikes, but I do think it would make much more sense to include this rather than your classic looking Japanese police car. However, we did know we definitely was going to be receiving a police motorcycle, as we was going to be getting a police variant of the Batty 801, which as you guys can see on screen by these images, the bike would have looked very similar to this. So sirens both on the front mirror as well as on the actual body of the motorbike itself. And like I have mentioned in previous videos, there is some rare police motorbikes that if you take a few steps in free mode, you can spawn in. However, the other car that was cut from the DLC was the police Buffalo car. I already spoke about that quite in detail, and this was a car that a lot of the community really was calling out for a very long time. Of course, this is just known as the police cruiser in GTA 5, But like I said, now that Rockstar Games have started to release a ton of police cars, especially with the last DLC, which wasn't a police themed DLC, however we just had a few police cars in there, it would make sense for them to finally go ahead and release the police Buffalo, as it is already in the game. Now, taking a look at the coding, the next vehicle down the list was actually the police gauntlet, which of course, like I mentioned, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware, it was one of the final items from the drip feed content from the December DLC to finally get released. And of course, thanks to glitches and mods, certain players were able to go ahead and get this car early. But like I said, the fact that the police gauntlet was planned to be released back in 2020 and was found in the game files just goes to show you that Rockstar Games are not letting all of this content go to waste. Even if we don't receive a full Cops and Crooks themed DLC, we are definitely going to be receiving a bunch of all of this police or cops themed content that they already have in the game, but probably are looking for a new way to implement it. However, as far as the new unreleased vehicles that we haven't spoken about yet, of course, the next one down is known as the Police Granger, as you guys can see on screen, and it probably looks very familiar to a lot of you guys. That's because it is known as the Sheriff's SUV. Now, it is a pretty large vehicle, as you can sit up to 8 players inside of this thing, and is probably the best performing SUV in the game. Now, if you guys are thinking, how the hell do I get this thing to appear? It is quite difficult to get this thing to spawn over other police vehicles. However, you guys will notice when you reach a 4-star wanted level, the Sheriff SUV will appear with 2 Noose agents hanging on the side of it. Now, it is worth mentioning, this car will only appear in Vinewood Hills, Los Santos County and Blaine County, hence the reason the Sheriff's SUV. Now, what's quite interesting is a unique black Sheriff SUV can be spotted with a white roof during the Fleecer job when you're chasing the armored Kuruma. It usually attempts to ram you right as the magnet picks you up. So as you guys can see on screen, a very unique looking police SUV. Probably something we'd be able to come out with once Rockstar Games officially release it for players. Of course, if you guys play on PS5 or Xbox Series, Rockstar Games released the Park Ranger vehicle, which if you put an all black tint on it, does look very similar to the FIB SUV, also controlled exactly the same. So like I said, it really just would make sense for them to go ahead and finally release this vehicle. Now, the next vehicle down the coding reads Police 5, which once again was one of the vehicles which was included with the Chop Shop DLC in December. Now, the next vehicle down reads Police 6, so your guess could be as good as mine. Potentially some sort of updated version to an Interceptor or the Staniela Cruiser. As we spoke about with previous police vehicles, Rockstar Games were taking inspiration from different police vehicles from around the world. So of course we had a European one, a Japanese one. Leave a comment down below and let me know what other country uses a funny or unique vehicle for a police vehicle. Now, the next vehicle down reads Police B2. If you guys aren't aware, the B would have stood for bike, and 2 obviously meaning this would have been the second police bike we would have been able to buy with this. So personally, I think it would have made a lot of sense for them to go ahead and release an Akuchu style police motorbike, which as you guys can see on screen is the most common like highway patrol motorbike you will see police forces using all over the world. And leave a comment down below and let me know what style of police vehicle would you guys have liked to see most with a Cops and Crooks style DLC. Like I said, there is over 800 files, so there is plenty more police vehicles found in the game files, which I will be covering in future videos. So make sure you guys do hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you do keep up to date with all of the latest GTA 5 news. And if you guys ever want to ask me any questions, or you're looking for some active players, whether that's to grind money or just have fun on the game, do be sure to go ahead and join my Discord server, which will be linked as a pinned comment underneath this video. And if you are still watching to this point, you probably have enjoyed the video, so all I ask is you do return the favor by dropping a like down below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.